Adrian Calamel, terror scholar, is joining us live from New York. Adrian, what do you make of this latest statement by the Iran Supreme Leader, his first video message since the ceasefire between the two countries, Iran and Israel?
Well, thank you for having me. First of all, he sounds exhausted. That's just my first takeaway on that. Now, as far as his message goes, if this is victory, I would hate to see what defeat looks like for him. And defeat for him is complete collapse and loss of the regime. So he's putting out these statements, obviously, to bolster up and boost up his proxies, who have largely been quiet during this entire operation, and for internal consumption for the people, the Iranians that actually believe him and follow him, and that's a small percentage. But it's for those individuals to tell them that this has been a great success, that there's nothing to see here. Yeah, they may have hit this, but the damage is minimal, and and this is typical of Khamenei. He's going to try and project strength and threats about targeting U.S. bases, and we know where U.S. installations are, and we have people to target them. Well, yeah, that may be the case, but if you try something like that, the response from the Americans is going to be something that Khamenei does not want. He already saw this at Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan.
Yes, absolutely. Also, Adrian, as you're saying, it seems that he's merely playing to his domestic audience because of these comments. And you, of course, are saying that it's rather funny that he's claiming victory, although the wider world community believes that they have suffered defeat. But coming back to some of the other points made by Khamenei in this address, Adrian, there's also a veiled warning to the United States of America. What do you make of his messaging to the US in particular, saying that they gain nothing through their involvement in the conflict, also saying that the damage to their bases was far greater than being claimed, and also saying that they will strike the US in the future too, if necessary?
Well, yeah, the strike on Al-Udeid base in Qatar. Now, I think we really need to unpack that entire situation. We have to look at Qatar's relationship with the Islamic Republic, and that relationship is pretty close, especially when you look at the South Pars natural gas field, which basically accounts for 70% of Qatar's GDP. So the last thing Qatar wanted to see was the Islamic Republic to fall. That creates instability, and that possibly cut off their access to what floats their economy. So this entire operation, it was orchestrated between the Islamic Republic and Qatar to hit that U.S. base. And the only reason the United States has a base in Qatar is because Ali Khamenei says you can have it there. He tells Qatar, yeah, let him put it there so we can watch them. And in like a scenario like this, dire straits, we can coordinate a type of attack on the U.S. base. Now, the U.S. had already expected this and pulled pulled a lot of people out of there and put some force protection measures in place. So we knew this was coming, but it comes, one of the largest concerns is that we continue to work through Qatar as an intermediary to help regulate the Islamic Republic's behavior. And
right.
the fact is Qatar works kind of hand in glove with the Islamic Republic on multiple issues.
Okay, that's a lesson for the future, is what you're saying. Now, coming back to the main goal of Israel and the US in this conflict, has Khamenei weighed in at all on what their nuclear capability currently is and the damage to those facilities?
Has Khamenei commented on the damage to them?
Yes. Has he?
He's going to minimize the damage. But realistically, if we look at this, obliterated, these terms that were used, they're inaccurate. It set it back. It set back the nuclear program. It set it back at least 2 years from most of the assessments that I've seen that I trust and that are accurate.
No, but
Now,
interestingly, what I was trying to ask you is that Khamenei has not really commented on that publicly in this address. He's not really spoken on the nuclear capabilities or those particular strikes and their damage, has he?
No, and the reason why, and I believe the reason why, is that if he comments on this and the damage on this and is somewhat transparent, which I doubt it, but in any event, when he does, I think that creates a problem for him with the population. The people in Iran, the Iranians, have seen trillions and trillions of dollars thrown into Fordo, into Natanz, and if they find out that those are all, I mean, they question those to begin with. They're not happy with it, and then they find out that they're completely destroyed, that all their money's been stolen for those projects. It's going to upset the population. So I would suspect that's one of the reasons why he's saying no, and that's why he's also claiming that, we won here. We still have a nuclear program. It's going to take longer to reconstitute it,
okay,
but we won. And being deliberately vague on the on the Fordo and the Natanz sites.
All right, Adrian Calamel, thank you very much for joining us with your perspective on that story.